Start recording. Yep, so we're going to cover 1911. Fun stuff. If anybody has questions, we had some questions emailed to us, so it was coming.
I made JC a panelist. So she didn't know I was going to do that, so she may not come on camera, but she is here because Jay-Z always has such great insights and stuff like that too. As y'all know, Jesse does our Monday Minutes with Kelly, and so the two of them have been doing a lot with 1911 also. So, all right. Well, actually, the way this is going to work is Kelly's in charge, and Andrew and I are just here to kind of smile and look nice. So
that is so baloney, Donna. I am going to be the hostess of this meeting, and we're going to talk about 1911. You know, please, there's a chat box, there's a Q&A box. I'm going to open up my screen and share some links. If you haven't been to those areas on our website to look at the new features and new enhancements, I'm going to direct you to those again. And we're going to look at there's questions that we had from our previous two What's News that have been posted. So you might have not known that those were up either. And welcome, Jesse. So again, you do have a chat box. You do have a Q&A box. You are all muted. But again, maybe we should introduce ourselves, y'all, because we always never do that and we get in trouble. So my name is Kelly, and I'm one of the educators with ByWater Solutions. And I was just thinking about this. I have been with ByWater since 1605 release. That's when we went from 322 was the one right before that. We started doing the new numbering system. So I feel like I've been here a while now that you do it in versions like that. So we're just here to see what y'all have to say.
And I'm Donna Bachowski. I'm one of the educators also. And that's actually a really neat way to put it. I've been here since 1711, I think.
Okay.
1705, something like that. Yeah.
And I'm Andrew. I'm the other educator here at ByWater. I've been with ByWater since like mere minutes before Donna. I was going to see, out of curiosity, what version of Koha I first used, but I don't think we have a record of what version folks were on. I could do some really complicated math.
Oh, you used at your own public library?
Yeah. When we came to Koha and ByWater, I don't know, 2010?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think Vocal, that's who I came from. I don't know if there's anybody from Vocal. We were definitely on a 3 version. I just don't know if we were on a 2 version at some point.
Yeah, none of my Carnegie Stout people are here to remember what version we were on. Anyway, hello everyone. You don't really care about that. Well, Jesse, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jessie. I do outreach and training, and my first training for Koha was 318 when we were still in the 3s.
Very exciting. And very apropos, we had a question from an attendee who wants to know what's the version that we're going to get when y'all are upgraded starting next week. And that will be version 1911 Mark 6.
Yep, and those release notes just came out, I want to say last week, and there are a few features that are actually getting pushed to a point release. So we are going to probably at least do some more documentation on a few of those. I know one was done about trapping holds that's coming through on 1911-06. I should pull that up. But let's go ahead, and I'm just going to share my screen and talk to you about just where you can get your information. As librarians, we all know we can do our research very well. However, I'm just going to lead you right to that area if you hadn't been there already. Seriously. And this is a nice blank screen. Easy enough. I went in and just typed in 1911 in the search bar and found all the blog posts that had been kind of indicated that this was a 1911 blog post. We have gone ahead and tagged those so you can find anything that's coming in 1911. But also I wanted to point out our question and answers. I'll put these in chat. that we did go through the questions. We've got so many during the What's New 1 and 2 about some fabulous new features, claims returned, multiple guarantors. What else? What else did we get questions about? I lost my chat.
The claims returned and the guarantors were two of the really big ones that we did get. So some very exciting changes happening with that, yeah.
So there's our questions and answers. We do, if you were not able to attend our What's New, that we did have both recorded sessions uploaded, put on YouTube. So we have that available. So let me grab that link.
And actually, Andrew, I had a call with a library that does a lot with music, and they were very excited about the 031, if I have the field right.
Cool.
So we may need to do a blog post on that if we haven't already, because we've got a lot of folks that are very excited about that functionality. And that adds a musical snippet. Is that the right phrasing?
Incipit.
Incipit, excuse me.
Or insipid. See, now I'm going to get it wrong. It's an incipient. It is not insipid.
It adds music to your catalog.
There you
It's
go.
really cool.
Hopefully nobody left early, because we talked about that in both the upgrade webinars, right?
Right at the end, yeah.
The
It wasn't on
very
the
end.
agenda. It was one of those little bonuses thrown in there. So yeah, it was kind of cool.
We can't really justify talking about this too much, but it's too shiny not to show you.
It's one of those shiny things. A great place to start, if you have not dived into 1911, is our upgrade note page. This will have all the necessary links that you probably need. Release notes, the manual, so making sure that bookmark is on your desktop again once you're back in the office or in your computer, the schema. Then we have all those extra tutorial videos and blog posts, if I'm up to date, here listed. So with the bigger features, we did not do a musical one yet. Maybe we should now that we've talked about it so much. Whether that is a blog post, a tutorial video, or a Monday Minute. So those are all listed here. Then as education team, we went through the release notes, found the bugs, features, and enhancements specific to modules, and broke those out. There is probably, I want to say, like 56 pages, small print of release notes that we kind of delve through and pick the good ones and try to highlight those, especially focusing on features and enhancements. System preferences, if there's new system preferences, we want to make sure you are aware of that. So these will all link out depending on what module you're looking for. That incipit?
It could be either. Heather, the amazing librarian, looked it up. I love working with librarians, I really do. Either a hard or a soft C. So it can be incipit or insipid.
Incipit. That will live in the 1911 OPAC and Public Services blog post, because Andrew gives you a nice picture of that and takes that out step by step. Joe asked for the 1911-06. I think I bookmarked that, but I don't think it's posted, and I'll put it here unless somebody else has it. Let's see. We'll put that in the chat for you, Joe.
And then Lisette did post the 1911-06 release notes in the chat also.
Thank you. Oh, that just, okay, went to everybody. Yeah, there's a few new things there. So we're going to have to do some documentation on those. I think that the idea behind some of these that show up in a 05, 06 release are, as we start to explore the new features in 1911 new, we will find things that are like, oh, we want to improve this a little bit before we are able to roll it out. And if the community can get together and push it out more quickly, then that's our objective, is to get it into that big release. So it's kind of exciting to see it work that fast. I mean, Jesse and I did a bulk edit due dates. I mean, that happened like overnight. So shout out to all the amazing co-op community that worked on that. So there's our what's new, both recorded there. And then we do break down the release notes of the 1911 big one. But thank you, Lizette, for posting the 1911-06.
Let's go back to the top of that page, if you don't mind. I just wanted to see the screen capture. No, down a little bit, the video link.
Oh, okay. Oh, this, your picture?
Oh, for heaven's sake, it did. I swear it does it on purpose.
Good job, YouTube.
Nice. All right, whatever. That's what I thought I saw. I was like, oh, all right. That's okay. So yeah, and we do want to, we will be getting your feedback too on, what you think of this new format that we're doing. So, be sure to let us know and watch out for those surveys too.
Yes, definitely. We're going to send everybody a survey, and we hope you will send us a response back to tell us what you like, what you'd like to see more of, because that's how we all improve in life. The biggest room in my house.
So bad. So y'all tell us now, you've been playing with this and exploring things. What questions do you have about some of these features? Or is there anything that you're just really kind of pulling your hair out about that we might be able to help with?
Or alternately, what are you super excited about?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not as much for us to do there, but it's exciting.
And if y'all don't have questions, we'll just keep, vamping for a while. So.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Patron club holds.
The book club holds. That's going to be really awesome.
Is that a you have a question or a you are excited?
I'm excited.
That's, yeah.
Heather, we just looked at the views on that video that Jesse and I did with Donna about the advanced editor. It has like 278 views on that video. So the advanced editor it's actually a hot commodity in Koha. Totally impressed.
Well, either that or because I was
100%.
I found in playing with the advanced editor keyboard shortcuts that folks who use a Mac keyboard get like a double bonus set of keyboard shortcuts because they're all set to use Control and Option, and they don't know anything about Command. So Mac keyboard users get to like have 2 sets of copy paste, whereas Windows people only get 1.
I don't know if I would. I get confused with the Mac commands and the PC commands.
I do have to tell you, when I was writing up that blog post, it was driving me nuts because I do have a Mac keyboard, and it was just, I'm like, which key am I supposed to use? This isn't working. So John just says the report adjustments to allow taking bib numbers, item numbers, and other data out into the tools is awesome, and that is fantastic. That's one that Andrew did. You want to talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, this is very exciting. I've trained one library on 1911 already, and when we got to reports, I had forgotten that this button existed, and then I was so happy. But yeah, let me grab our.
Should I shop?
Sure.
Shop sharing.
You should shop sharing. Shop staring? Man, we're really good at this.
While Andrew is pulling that up, we do have another question. Can you turn on when you turn on the advanced editor, is it on for everyone, or can you set it per cataloger?
It's one of those that gets turned on globally and then accessed if you have a permission for it.
There's now a permission, yeah. And then the other aspect of it is browser specific. So if you are using somebody else's computer and they are usually using, the advanced editor, it could pop up and you're like, whoa, but you can switch back and forth. Or as Heather does, she has two browsers. That's what I've learned from her town hall on the advanced editor.
Doing this wrong. Sorry.
I should go find that blog post.
Oh, so George mentions a feature that we did not discuss at the webinars. Click that one, modify hold expiration date. So we'll look at that in just a few minutes, make sure everyone's aware of what that is.
Okay, here's my very boring report that just lists everything that's currently checked out. Gives item number, bib number, and card number. So the new feature is, in 1905, we had if you had item number, you got a little batch modify button right here. Now you get one big prettier button here that gives you a choice of, do you want to send the items to item stuff, the bibs to bib stuff, or the patrons to patron stuff? So nice expansion of features, as well as just like basic usability changes. It is still, and this is a thing that is going to be true for as long as Koha works the way it works, I guess. I mean, it's pretty fundamental. It's only doing this to the things that are on the screen right now. I would have to tell it, if I want to get all 43 of my results, I would have to change this to a number that gives me all of my records. And then it's now saying 43 visible records. I lost my thing.
Yeah. But I do like that in that button now it tells you batch operations with 20 visible records. So it's just as a reminder that you do need to make sure you've got all that data there.
And George asked, if you rename item number, does it still allow you to modify these things? Yes, but there's a specific way you need to rename it. Let me find that bug, because it was pretty finicky. I wasn't entirely 100% sure it was worth it. But, I mean, depending on who you're giving this report to, I can certainly imagine instances where it would be worthwhile to rename that thing. What was that called?
The bug is 23197, I believe. Or 23206.
23390. Add placeholder syntax for column names.
I just like to yell out numbers. Honestly, it's showing. Maybe it links to that one.
Okay, so let's
there it is.
Come back here and edit this. And we're going to say select. And I am straight up copying from the test plan in the bug here. Bucket. And card number. No, item number. This is an item. Oops. So yeah, weird syntax. Double brackets and the name of the field we actually want to use. So item number, bib number, card number. A pipe, and then the label we want to put on the column.
Oh, that is very particular.
So now it is labeled, this is an item, but it is still recognizing that those are item numbers and should be sent to item modification. Somebody asked me the other day if it was possible to still get this button while making your column links instead of just values, and it is not. You'd have to stick in a column of the unlinked values. And George says, actually, that's not how George wanted us to do. Yeah, if you just say item number as whatever, it will no longer recognize those as items. It will no longer give you the button. I feel like I'm saying that when I'm right here. I may as well test it before I jinx myself. So at that point, it says, you don't have the column named item number. I don't have anything to send to batch modification.
That's pretty handy, actually.
Yeah.
Cool. Kelly, one that was mentioned that George is excited about was in your group, Patrons and Circ, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 22922, allow to modify hold and hold expiration date in the staff client.
If you're allowing the date to be created in the future, so allow, let me write that down. The hold has to be pending. It cannot be a waiting hold for this to be edited. But yes, the option to now edit the expiration date is available. So let me make sure. Go to my person and she probably has holds.
Elizabeth always has holds.
Elizabeth always has holds. That Jessica though, let's see. So you now have these date pickers. I'm not sure, if somebody called and said, hey, I'm leaving town. If this hold doesn't come in for me by a certain date, we could at the circulation level be able to edit that expiration date. I don't know the use case, and maybe somebody could fill me in, what you would get from changing the actual reserve date, but that was also listed on the same bug. It sounds like maybe a way to, maybe when you reorganize holds, it's hard. Then you see somebody had a more recent hold higher than somebody else. This would allow you to say, they actually had this hold placed and somehow it got canceled and I want to reapply it. But you do have the ability to change both the hold date and the expiration date.
But again, that's only for things that are not pending.
Mm-hmm.
There is still not an easy way to change an expiration date for a hold that's been captured and on shelf. We have added a bug recently to Bugzilla, so if that's something that you're interested in chiming in on how important that is to be able to do that, we'll find you that bug and post it in channel. So Lisette and her gang are super excited about claims returned. So are we. That's something that we get asked for on a regular basis. So I'm very happy to see that one. Let's see. And then we did post the Advanced Editor Macros Town Hall. So if you want to see Heather's genius at work, take a look at that one. You'll enjoy that. Michael says he is excited about or psyched about the ability to limit item types by branch. I'm with you, Michael. That one was a long time coming. And actually, Kelly is doing a training for a huge consortium that is joining ByWater. And what was the last count? 95 item types or something like that?
Something like that.
So being able to limit to those individual locations is going to be really helpful for libraries like that. So we're really excited about that one also. So I think I'm trying to catch up with a scroll back.
Doubling back to George's question, if there is a blank expiration date, yes, you can add one using that change the date feature. You just pulled one up and added it just to be sure.
And then Lisette also has a use case for the dates. When we place holds from paper requests, we backdate the request and sometimes forget to backdate it on the creation of the hold. So now they can fix that without having to cancel the hold and do that. Yeah. So excellent. See, if we knew, that's why we love working with y'all. Y'all always have the great examples for us that we can't think of.
Well, and if you allow people to set holds for a future date from the setting of the hold, that pushes the reserve date into the future. So I suppose it makes sense that sometimes you would place a hold and then change the date. Although I don't know that that does anything very different from suspending it functionally.
Functionally, yeah.
No, but I could see, for instance, if I put a hold on a book that's yet to be published, and I always, as a patron, use a 6-month expiration date on that one, and that book gets delayed, you could go in there and move that expiration date up for me for a few months.
Sure.
That sounds good.
I can set a future date for a hold. The patron cannot unsuspend it. I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the bug that I mentioned for being able to extend the expiration date on trapped holds. And thank you, George, for commenting on it. But let's, if this is something that's relevant for your libraries, go ahead and comment on it and let's see if we can get that fixed.
I don't think round robin.
You're just using this opportunity to stump for your own bugs. I see this.
Actually, Andrew, it came from one of your libraries that you're training. So.
We did want to talk a little bit while you're all thinking about other questions that you may have had. We wanted to talk a little bit about the report changes that are coming to your system and what your staff client will be populated with some information about those reports that are going to need to be edited. So when I know some library staff clients have already been updated with a little box, that box will be updated with more information to include report numbers that are going to be need to be edited, including a couple of links, one to Andrew's report blog post on account line changes and the blog post about multiple guarantors, because that table is changing as well. So I thought I would just pop over to somebody's site and add this query. So you know how all I am with reports, to see what it will look like. And I'll show you the query that they're going to put on there. I did put it on this site, but I didn't get a lot of reports, but I'll show it. We don't have a lot of reports on our site.
And then, Kelly, in addition to posting this into individual sites, we're also going to be putting this into the ByWater Partners Slack channel too. So. Okay,
perfect. Thank you. I actually don't know if this is an unintended consequence, but something I noticed with 1911 is there's no last on the report page. I know.
What about at the top? Oh, that's bad.
So I don't know. I didn't see anything. Anyways, that's how I always know where to find my report, because it's the last one I've created. So I'm like, oh, I was working on this. Now I go to the last. I know there's about 1 million search features that I could choose to find it, but it used to say previous and like first and last, and now it says previous.
Well, I always just sort by creation date.
I should do that. I could show all too. Yep.
There are many ways to accomplish this task.
There are many ways, but at the same time, you're just used to doing something, and I know somebody will say, oh, what happened?
I want my last button.
Yeah, exactly. I want my last button. So we're not going to use Shippy Boop reports.
Change is evil for other people, right? Or change is not evil for other people. It's just evil for me. Something like that, George.
So maybe Andrew can break down what this report actually says.
Yeah, neat.
Let me make it a little, oops, I'm making the wrong thing bigger.
Oh, it's got regex in there. I'm out.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything particularly complicated. This is listing every report. So ID is the report number and then the name and when it was last run. Saved SQL is just the table where all of your reports live. So the first regex is reports that contain the word where and then any number of characters and then the word account type. So we're referencing the account type table somewhere after the where statement.
Okay.
And then the same with manual invoice and then just anything that has guarantor ID in it anywhere.
And really, you may want to change that if you do run reports not as often as 1 year. Right now, it's only looking at the last reports you've run in the last year. So if you didn't run it last year or within 365 days, it won't appear.
It's, you know, the same idea of not moving boxes that are still taped after the last time you moved. Maybe you don't really need that thing anymore.
All my important stuff. What are you talking about?
But I know exactly where it is. Okay, so if I run this report, it's going to give me the ID. So that's your report ID, the name, and when you last ran it. Then you can pop in there and make the changes necessary. So that's going to be really helpful if you are one to embrace the ability to jump into SQL and make those changes. Then we are leading you to the ones that you would like to edit and play around with. If you don't, send us a ticket and we will adjust those for you. And then when we go to fix them, we'll know exactly which ones to fix too.
And probably by the time this gets on your site, we will have given it to Lizette, who will have made that report ID column a really nice link to edit the report, and we'll just copy that from her. That tends to be what happens when I give Lizette reports. They come back to me better than they were.
I thought about that when I ran it right before we started. I was like, oh, this. And then Andrew was making hamburger buns. So I was going to ask you to do that.
And George Michael has a comment that he wants to know, aren't you in the garage too?
Including the last run date in this report is smart though, because yeah, I'm sure everybody has a lot of reports that need to get changed, but also a fair opportunity to think, yeah, I wrote this report for one question I had 18 months ago. Do I care?
Yeah. Time to weed your reports.
Sounds like a KohaCon presentation waiting to happen. The importance of report reading.
Yeah, says us on our test site who has how many now, and most of them are named like boopity boop or test or to delete.
I don't know who keeps putting the word boop into things.
Should we show them what our reports are named? Because
no,
it's classic. It's classic.
We're supposed to be setting examples.
Kelly, test. I mean, I'm really, really vague with what I created a report.
Oh, I am too. I'm just as terrible with it.
Maybe collate. That's helpful.
I liked the bug one because we've got like 4 or 5 in there. Bug 3927, bug 3927 again, bug 37924 again.
The longest syspref, that was from the last upgrade webinar. Remember?
Yeah.
That's right. And y'all will be delighted to know we are now up to 703 system preferences. Well, that's as of 1911-05. I don't know if 1911-06 has added any sysprefs or not, so that might number be going up.
Yes, trap holds is this.
But didn't we lose one? I don't know. I'll have to run that again.
And
not that one matters but me, or cares but me. But
and George is correct. Share those reports in Mana if you have started using Mana. If you have not, I actually just created a blog post tutorial video on how to add a report to the wiki, and it is not that hard. I thought it was going to be way more complex, and I was kind of scared to do it. Andrew's added reports all the time, and I've just never done it. The Koha report wiki, it is actually quite easy to add a report to. Yeah, see, Heather? And now I can too. I know that there are some people that have been using 1911 for our early adopters. We should shout out to all the early adopters to say thank you so much for testing and playing around and submitting tickets to let us know when something's not working as expected.
I do have to say, I don't think we found any significant, with the help of our early adopters, we haven't found any significant bugs that are coming out in 1911. So that's always a good thing.
No. I had a few requests for the multiple guarantor, just how it's structured in the patron form. It's not as clear, and I agree. So it's good to get another set of eyes to say, hey, wouldn't it be great if? And that's how everything kind of jumps off.
Mm-hmm.
claims returned, multiple guarantors, patron clubs. Look, now we have holds. People are excited about that.
Okay, so let's answer Jason's question real quick, and then we'll go back to Heather's. So Jason asks, is it correct that the claim returned lost value is the on-off switch for claims returned? If I leave it blank, the feature doesn't show at all. And that is correct, yeah. Heather is excited about the column adding to the Z3950, but she hasn't played with it on the demo site. Kelly, would you be able to do a quick demo on that?
Sure. Is this a system preference, Donna?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember where that is. I know I've seen it, but I don't remember what section it's in.
Would it be in technical services?
No.
I think it's in admin, not a system preference. I believe it's additional fields.
Okay, additional fields. Here we go.
We did a Monday Minute on this.
No, this is different. This one's different. I think. Nope.
And see, Jason knows what it is. It's additional fields in Z3950 reserve.
Yeah, he's right. It is a system
Okay.
preference.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure it was not in technical services because I did that section. I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize. So this is not like new, or we've just done it so long ago. It felt like it was the last release.
Because this was a good example where we said, you could show like 336, 337, 338, so you could see the RDA information.
So here's the system preference, additional fields in Z39 result search. Thank you so much, Jason Robb. And this, we added some mark fields. So you can see the 037B we found was a very big popular overdrive indication. We also did the 245H to see if when they're cataloging, are they putting in a medium, and then we'll know this is an audiobook and we don't want that. Then we added the RDA, and then the 550A, I'm not sure why we did. I'm sure we had a good reason. Once you've added those, you can go ahead and search in the Z39.50.
Yes, Kelly, I'm finding the link about that in the OPAC and Public Services section.
So that's Andrew.
Oh, I thought that was you.
No, that was me. That was totally me.
So here they live. They'll live in your additional fields. So Andrew is correct. The column is called additional fields. And there they are. So if they did have any of those fields, they would show up there. So there's your 037B, 336, 338, just trying to find ways to get the information without having to look at that mark record again and again.
Looping back to Wendy's question quickly about guarantors, do they have to be patrons? And as Donna said, no, they don't. But you can only have one non-patron guarantor on an account. So you can have any number of patron guarantors, but only one non-patron. So what lives in that other additional fields screen? Because that's new stuff as well, and I can't remember what lives there.
Oh, shoot, I just closed it. What do you mean?
Back in admin.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What were those? There were
So
two.
that's if you want to add additional fields to both acquisitions and serials.
Oh, right.
So in 1905, we added the ability to add additional fields in acquisitions. So Koha said, hey, let's move those serial fields that are living in serials here. And now we have two different areas and they're kind of all lumped together.
And that's just making new local fields for whatever else you want to capture there?
Right, exactly.
Cool.
Exactly. So for my acquisitions, when I create a basket, they'll show up. I always forget that they show up. So I'm always like, oh, look at these new things. Not there. Oh, maybe this is on train. Sorry.
And going back to Z3950, I do see that in Andrew's post, he also mentions that Z950 search has been added to the column thing.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So that's another part too.
Oh, honestly, that's such a sparse thing to begin with. I would think you're probably not going to hide much from there, but.
Well, like that LCCN number, like that didn't mean anything to me or whatever that number was. So there is where your additional fields will show up
Right.
your positions.
So those are attached to the basket, not to the orders. And I looked at that once. I remember that now. I suppose I could pretend I'm, asking Socratic questions.
Config. Another great bug is to make it so we only have one cataloging tab. There it is. There's your Z39.50. So I would get rid of that one. I wouldn't want to see the LCCN number for some people that might not be.
I am happy that the actions button is grayed out because that's the most important one there. You don't want to hide that. So that's good. Oh, you've got Heather clutching her pearls, Kelly. I thought I was the only one that did that.
Oh, LCCN number is, who cares?
And there, it's not there anymore. So all that extra stuff you don't need, streamline your process. And I want to say that Lizette has privately messaged me that she still sees first and last on her report module.
You were on the last page when you were looking for the last button. No.
And she's on 1911 as well. I've noticed this a few times. Watch. Oh, there it is. But wait, let's just, that is really, did you all see it wasn't there? Okay, thanks, Lizette.
Is it possible you had a filter on? No, because it was multiple pages.
Maybe it's not showing on the too many classes. Probably too many classes at lunch. Thanks, Lizette. No one freak out. No one freak out. No, I was on this site. Definitely was on train too. It's so weird.
Andrew, were you going in there and playing with jQuery to mess with Kelly's mind? You're muted.
I was not, because I don't know how jQuery works.
So I am curious. I know I've had where you, out of the stuff that you did for grades, which one are you most excited about? You can't take claims returned. It can't be something we covered in the top 10.
No. I like the informational button that appears when you do check-in. So when you're doing check-in, let me grab an item. And this was buried deep into those release notes. A lot of people might not have even found that.
Joe, while she's clicking things, so you said the batch modify button from report results isn't checking permissions. Is it not checking permissions on whether or not the button appears? Or if I don't have permission to batch modify stuff and I click the button, does it let me do that? Or does it give me the button and then give me an error? Would be the big question.
So gotta clean up our site, y'all.
I love this. Okay, so you got a lot here. You now, if there was any pop-ups and you need to go back to that, this little informational button will actually show you what you just ignored. So if you were like, oh, I'm click happy and I clicked it and I didn't see it, or I should have hit print and I didn't, this will bring me back to that last pop-up instead of having to check in the box again. Actually, this is really, really awesome.
Yeah, this one is really awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jay-Z, what about you? Is there any in 1911 that you're excited about? Actually, I know which one you're excited about, which is the multiple receive serials.
Yeah, that's exactly, that's one of them. I've emailed like 3 different people about that.
Oh, I forgot about this new use days mode bug. The one that George linked, 15260. This lets you, I think this should just be a new option if you look up use days mode, the syspref.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Use the calendar to push the due date to the next open matching weekday for weekly loan periods or the next open day, which I think is pretty cool.
And only works in multiples of 7.
Sure. So like if my thing would be due on a Sunday, but we're closed one goofy Sunday, it's going to push it to the next Sunday. Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Yeah, and George has a perfect example too. If you have a bookmobile that goes to a certain location every Monday and you're not there that Monday because of a holiday, it'll push it to the next one. So that's really a nice enhancement. Yeah.
Kelly, can you do a system preferences search for the word calendar?
Sure.
This is what I'm most excited about in 1911, and there's another one I keep forgetting. I bullied Lucas into rewriting all of these system preferences. So the wording is standardized, and they all come up when you search the word calendar. All the various system preferences that ask, should I look at the calendar to do this? Made me very happy. And like they all have the same options in the drop-down now.
So wait, it actually makes sense when we're trying to figure those out?
Well, that's the theory.
Oh, I see. Use calendar, ignore calendar. Use calendar, ignore calendar. Nice.
Not that that's a thing that you all touch like daily, but we touch it a lot.
And we always had the conversation, okay, Kelly and Andrew, what is Andrew's calendar or ignores calendar?
Sorry, Donna. I'm sure that was an excellent joke.
Whatever. There's George also mentions 23219, which is when you delete a patron, it actually notifies you that there are holds also. So it fixes the delete functionality in there. Shows a warning about canceling holds before patrons deleted. Oh, I've never seen that before.
Learn something new.
You would be locked out of Koha if you deleted your own account.
I wish the message just said something like, think about the ramifications of your action.
What do you think, Donna? Let's see. Do you have a hold? Yep. Oh, it won't even let me because I owe money as well. And you have kids.
And I have guarantors. Yeah, someone keeps giving me kids. I don't know who's doing that, but they need to stop.
I don't think it was me.
Or send me child support, one of the two.
You took Kelly's cat.
But yeah, according to the bug, what it does is it cancels the holds instead of deletes them. So you still have that information available. But
yeah, it's very handy.
Joe followed up that on those reports pages, the button to send things to batch modification is there, but then it gives you an error if you don't have permission. Joe, did it just take you to the like login page? The you don't have permissions screen, not like a terrible server error? It's a bug either way. It's just, if it was letting you do stuff that it shouldn't let you do, that's a really big bug. And if it was taking you to an ugly server error page, that's a kind of big bug. And if what it's doing right now is a bug. A non-emergency bug, which I will file now.
So what did I learn today? If you trying to delete your own account, go on, give you an error message and won't let you.
I know, that's pretty cool. Let's see.
So what other questions do y'all have for us? I can see from here, we can do this sort of stuff. We amuse ourselves highly.
Yeah. Oh, I have a good question while people are thinking. I don't know if it's showing. Do people like the new idea of being able to see the biblio item type and the item type on the page?
Oh,
Let's see.
Heather loves it.
Oh, really? Okay. I wonder if I hit it.
yeah, we did this one for our Monday Minute.
Okay.
I think we might have hit it on the last one, but
Check it out and see. Check it out. I can't remember if we hit it everywhere, Jesse, or we needed a clean database.
We really do. Eric mentions that, yes, that's really helpful for spotting when the bib level item type is missing,
Okay.
which can happen quite a lot
Mm-hmm.
with migrated data and things like that. So excellent. Glad it's going to be helpful for you, Eric.
Good. There it is.
So it's called record type.
Record type.
That's not necessarily intuitive, but okay, we'll go with it.
And then checked in there. Okay. I love the fact that we have so many more column settings. I mean,
Yes. Yeah, that configure columns, they're trying to move more and more in there to make it even more customizable.
oh, there it is.
Oh, there
Record
it is.
model, book, and book.
Cool. Excellent.
Wow.
I guess that's all of the questions for now. So we will be having another session Thursday at 11 Eastern that will be basically doing the same thing, just kind of answering any questions. So if you think of any questions between now and then, feel free to come back, or if you just want more, comedy routine, we'll be here too. So it'll be a lot of fun. And we're all very excited. If y'all haven't seen it on the listservs, 2005 was released. So we're starting the process all over again, which means this is about the time of year when we get really confused because we're working with 1905 on most sites. We've got a few folks on 1911 and we're starting to learn about 2005. So that's when you ask us a question and we have no idea what the answer is. But we are excited about it too. There's always great enhancements coming out in the new versions. So.
Or 1911 is so old news. We're like, oh, that's 1911. We're looking forward to 2005. Like, oh, we've been able to do that for ages.
So excellent. Well, thank you, Kelly, for moderating this and trying to keep all the cats in a herd.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. And again, please let us know. We'll send out our Google form so you can fill it out and help us out. And thank you, everyone, for talking. Oh, Andrew's got something to say.
Yeah, Joe, I filed a bug for that batch permissions issue in reports. I put it in the chat. George already CC'd himself on it. Got that immediate email.
And thank you, Jay-Z, for being our unwitting guest today. I just pulled her to the web and tell her that she was going to be a panelist or anything. So
The more the merrier. The more the merrier.
That's right. I'm happy to be here.
Okay. Well, we'll see you in Slack.
bye, everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Great job. Bye.